All right, gang, this is the section where we're gonna talk about gear. So these are gonna be our own personalized gear in our packs that we use when we're on long distance through hiking adventures. Right here I have my own signature Mountain Smith Zerk 40. I designed this pack with a more of a running vest kind of inspired design, where they have these mesh pockets here, a little bit thicker padding. There is no hip belt from the standpoint of like load transfer. You can remove the hip belt. There is no metal frame, internal stay of any sort. It's just a foam sheet. So it's ultralight and it's ultra comfortable too. But these pockets, you know, you can keep your phone in, you can keep your GPS or emergency satellite device, you can keep snacks, you know, anything you want to, it's at arm's reach. You don't have to take your pack off to access these extra side pockets from the side here, because really time is miles. And for me, I'm trying to stay hiking as long as possible to get as many miles in per day as I can. One of the beauties of these through hiking packs that Heather and I use is the front mesh stuff pocket. It's so versatile. You can keep anything you want in there. Dirty socks, dirty clothes, wet things that you want to pull out when you take breaks to dry in the sun. I keep my rain jacket at the top, because that's one of the first things you're going to want to need when the rain rolls in. I keep my headlamp there. I keep my baby wipes or my toilet paper there. I keep my battery pack there sometimes because I'm trying to recharge my phone on the go. I keep rope for like, hanging a bear bag or, lowering my pack down into canyons if I'm on a canyon hike. But you can keep all kinds of things in there. People keep their snacks in here. They keep their food. So, it's just a really versatile pocket, and it's just, it's for everything. All right, so I gave you the front pockets, I gave you the back pocket. I keep the bottles in the sides, keep my water filter handy. Sometimes I keep my trekking poles upright down on the side of my pack here, tuck them into these compression straps here. And then of course I have these outer mesh pockets here to keep like trash or other snacks. This particular water filter, I would say, is by far the most popular water filter on the majority of all the long trails. It's the easiest to maintenance, and it's the one that lasts the longest. The only thing you gotta really be careful of is if it freezes, it can crack and kind of render the filtration useless and ineffective, and therefore you're drinking bad water. Only thing you gotta really also be careful of is clogging it up too much with high sediment water. And yeah, just gotta make sure that you keep it flowing good, and it's the Sawyer squeeze. You literally just squeeze water through it, and that's it. So yeah, I don't, Heather, do you use the Sawyer squeeze?
I do, yeah.
So that's, the preferred number one through hiking filter is the Sawyer squeeze. It's not even that expensive. You can find it at most any outfitter along any trail. And yeah, super reliable, super durable, lasts long, does something like 1 million gallons or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I don't even think you can live that long. So when using the Sawyer squeeze, when you go to fill your water up, you just unscrew the filter, go up to your stream, lake, pond, whatever water source you have available to you, and just put your bottle in, let the water fill up in, screw this back on, squeeze it directly into your mouth after you've put the filter on the bottle, or you can squeeze it into another bottle that is a clean bottle. This would be now designated your dirty bottle. So you basically always want to use one dirty bottle and know which bottle is your dirty bottle. That way you're not filling that with clean water later and getting those bacterias and possible viruses into your stomach, and then you're off trail with Giardia or something worse maybe, who knows? And I've had that, and it's horrible. But in some cases, these that Heather uses sometimes can be easier to fill. They can also be harder to fill, depending on the type of water source you're dealing with. If you're dipping this into like a cow trough, this can be hard, depending on how shallow that cow trough is. It can be hard to fill this up. But in some cases, when you're at like a little runoff, this bottle is hard to get underneath the flow just because of the dimensions of the bottle. It's very difficult to get the angle right, and that's where these come in handy. But some people take these and cut them in half and just have this little scoop that they can use. And then they pour that scoop into this bottle, and that's just a little method some people use to be able to source water a little easier to squeeze through this filter. There's all types of filters out there. Again, this is just one of the most popular. It's not everybody's favorite. There are even different versions of this that Sawyer makes. This is the regular Sawyer squeeze. There's the Sawyer Mini, and I think there's even the Sawyer Micro. So it's really just all about like what kind of weight savings you want to gain from going to a smaller filter. The smaller filters flow a little worse. These have a better flow rate and are easier to maintenance. One of the things that some hikers carry, depending on the type of hike they're going on, and if they're going solo, sometimes when I'm going solo, I carry an emergency satellite beacon. And then there's an SOS function. There's also two-way text messaging available. What this basically does is it allows you, in a moment of need, when you're injured and you have no way of getting back to, civilization and seeking medical care, as a very, very last resort, you can press the SOS button, and it'll cover up to, I believe, annually, you can cover up to $50,000 worth of extraction from medical personnel, including helicopter flights. So I've never, in all my years of hiking, ever pressed the SOS button, and I've never, ever thought of using it in that way. It's never like a crutch that I'm willing to use as like, oh, that means I can go do scarier or more dangerous things. But I just kind of carry it, not for me, but for the people that I love or that love me, that want to make sure that I'm not going to die alone in a canyon in the middle of nowhere somehow. But other people use it for different reasons.
Yeah, so I don't use one of these as a general rule just because of the expense. They are expensive devices. I believe they're over $200 just to buy the device, and then you have to pay an annual fee as well as a monthly fee just to have it be functional. And it adds up. So it is definitely a big price tag for it. If you have to use it, it pays for itself. But it is definitely, kind of like insurance. It is pretty much a pretty big expense for a what-if scenario.
So another thing I carry, I don't know how big Heather's battery pack is. Yeah, I tend to carry a larger battery pack. This is the Anchor, gosh, I don't even know, 20,000, I believe. Yeah, 20,000 milliamps per hour power bank. It has two USB ports on it. It can charge via USB-C or USB micro. The reason I carry such a robust battery is I do like to document with video, and I do like to take a ton of pictures with my phone, and I like to keep my phone charged as often as possible, because I do, like I said, document with my phone, but also as a tertiary GPS and navigational tool. I use my phone, various apps like Gaia or Far Out, formerly known as Gut Hook, or even OnX. These navigational apps have proven to be helpful as a backup or tertiary navigational tool. And I know that I speak for Heather too when I say we promote the usage and knowledge of orienteering with maps, paper maps, because those batteries, they don't have them. But yeah, so Heather uses a smaller one, I think. Yeah. So I think that I'm on the higher end of people carrying a larger battery pack. All right, so let's dive into the pack. Now, I want to remind you that Heather and I have been at this for 10 plus years, and what we carry now is not what we carried when we first started backpacking. It's certainly been an evolution of how we've gotten to where we are with the gear that we're comfortable with, and that's a big part of this, is like what you're comfortable carrying with you dictates how heavy your pack can be. But first and foremost, at the top of my pack is my food bag, and that's the most important, at least while you're out there backpacking during the day. Keeping your food handy is very important. When you run out of the snacks on the outside of the pack, the first thing you got to do is go to your food bag to get more. So I got a cook kit. Right now I'm carrying a Jet Boil. I forget what this is called, the Stash, I think. So a fuel canister in there. I keep a cloth with me, a handkerchief with me, as you know, I can clean up with it. I can wipe my face with it. Sometimes I dry my stuff out with it so I don't get rust. We got lots of food. We got dehydrated meals. We got tuna. We got beef jerky. I got coffee. You know, I got all kinds of snacks. You know, I got electrolytes. I've got, you know, beef sticks. I've got extra potatoes. Gosh, I mean, if you're gonna cook, never lose your spoon. This is the #1 most lost thing on trail next to tent stakes. I've lost too many, and man, when you're out of spoon, trust me, it's not fun when you're making chopsticks out of dirty sticks. So don't lose your spoon, folks.
You gotta peel the sticks first.
Yeah, right, well, yeah. So a couple of staples in my clothing bag on long hikes. One, you know, we got rain pants, ultralight rain pants, you know, very, very critical when you're hiking in shorts often. When you get wet, your core temperature can drop pretty easily. This helps you retain some of your body heat when you're hiking in cold, wet weather. I always make sure I sleep in a pair of leggings at night. Gotta take the dirty clothes off that you're hiking in, and as Heather outlined in our camping segment, you know, you don't want to get your body oils in your down, and I always sleep in down sleeping bags. So I wear a pair of leggings to keep the oils and the dirt against my body and off my sleeping bag. Very important that I always carry that. Always carry down, which I'm wearing. Always carry extra pairs of socks. Sometimes I carry an extra shirt. Other times I do not. Depends on the season with which I'm hiking. But usually the down can make up for whatever you don't have long sleeve wise. So always keep that dry, keep that safe in your clothing bag. And folks, also make sure your waterproofing is on point. Like if you use a pack liner, typically with these types of through hiker packs, we line our packs with like a robust trash bag or a contractor bag, or some people use you know, specific nylon sacks that are designed to be pack liners. That's kind of overkill in my opinion. Those can tear just as easily as a trash bag, so might as well save yourself some money and use a trash bag. Next, you know, we got our tent. We've got our air pad. I use, in some cases, I use the Thermarest Neo Air. And then my down sleeping bag. And that's, I mean, when it comes to through hiking and being ultralight, you can hike 3,000 miles with the stuff that I just pulled out here. And I have.